This is going to be the Skyrover S1, and if you're going to be looking for an entry-level drone that is budget and overall very good, just among all the stuffs, then this is probably worth checking out. So the Skyrover S1 is able to shoot at 4K 60, uses a half-inch Sony sensor, has a 3-axis gimbal to stabilize your footage, it has a front-facing anti-collision sensor, it has a built-in GPS, active tracking in-app, and up to 40 minutes of flight time per battery based on perfect condition. So these are going to be the stuff that you can just read from the product description page. Yes, specs are going to be very important for a camera drone or any electronics, but that is not why I am recommending this. It all boils down to how well it controls and how well is the camera system going to be stabilizing your footage. These are the two main things. So talking about control, a good camera drone should feel like a flying tripod. It should hold its position in the air like it is locked in place. So no drifting, no wobbling if you did not move your sticks. And if there's gonna be wind, it should compensate itself by coming back. And when you start adding your stick movements, the stick response should be very smooth and very precise. There should be no lags, no weird delays, no unpredictable movements. As for footage stabilization, it just doesn't matter how good the sensor or how many K the camera claims to shoot. So I see often on websites there's going to be this beginner drone shoots 8K, 4K whatsoever, but it really don't matter. If your footage is really that good, if you can't stabilize it, it's really good as nothing. You have to have good stabilization, otherwise footage is just unusable. That is just the point. You might be having questions like, hey, these actually sounds pretty standard, but yes, unfortunately, all the beginner drones, like besides a few major brands, nobody was able to give that right. So I have tested so many drones, and these are the two things that often they just fail, like completely. They have good specs, but they just don't have the software to support them, and that is a big problem. But the Skyrover, surprisingly, it is very good. Let's actually put it in the test so you can see it yourself. Okay, so moving to the front yard, we're going to be doing a takeoff test just so you can see how it actually takes off and how stable it is when you are just pulling your stick up. You see, no problem at all. Even with some wind blowing at it, it is still pretty much steady. Also, just to prove a point of it, we're going to be using some blowers to blow it, so to see how good it actually sticks itself in the air and does it actually comes back. Okay, you can see that it's actually coming back. Okay, not bad. Ooh, okay, this is a little bit too much, but you can see that it's coming back to the original place that it's supposed to be. There's a little bit deviation, but not too much. Alright, so next we're going to be testing the front collision sensor. Yeah, when it's detecting something, it's not going to move, no matter how much you push your sticks. Let's actually now add in our stick cam. Okay, you can see, yep, no matter how much I push my sticks, it won't move an inch. Next, we are going to be continuing the test, and you can see that this is going to be my phone screenshot on the Skyrover radio. So in this, you can see my, basically my settings and also my movements on the screen. So I think this is a better way of showing you how it actually performs. And also a good thing that you can see that how stabilized the footage it is, because these are just completely unprocessed. Let's go. So we're going to start with some orbit first. Doing an orbit is always the best thing for you to test how your stick movements can coordinate with each other, because you're mixing two together and it's very hard. If they didn't get it right, you will have a weird kind of twitch. So and the goal right here is to see how slow you can go, and this is kind of like my speed by just doing the minimum stick inputs, and you can see that it's doing a very good job. It does inherited the DJI software very, very well. Now let's actually go push forward, pitch forward a little bit. And then we are going to pitch backwards. You can see that there's no weird drifting or whatsoever, and it's just staying very straight. Yeah, right, a little bit. Okay, pitch again. Yeah, you can see just how accurate this is. There is a little bit of wind that is actually blowing, as when you're seeing when we're taking off. It's not very significant, but you know, if your GPS and your coordinates are not coordinating correctly, this little stuff is just gonna blow it around. So this is very good. Next, we're gonna be testing the gimbal movements because this is also something very important. Yep, I'm gonna tilt my remote a little bit so you can see it. Yes, you can see how smooth it is. It's not like jittering. It's not like a section-wise movements up and down. It is very smooth, like really radio, like butter smooth. You can see how smooth it is. And when you kind of let it go, it is going to take a little break a little bit. So it's not like, poof, just stop right away. So yeah, I hope this is enough to kind of like give you a hint how good this thing actually is. Again, I will say that it does inherit the DJI software very, very well. Here's going to be some little bit bonus function demo. You can see that, yep, this also have active track, which we actually mentioned before. All you need to do is just draw on the screen and you will be able to like track an object like this. And if you want to do orbits without having to do like complicated like stick movements, just use this and use the roll axis. It is going to basically give you those kind of like orbit options. So yeah, the simple orbit ones. All right, so that concludes the test, and I hope this is going to be enough to show you how good it actually holds itself in the air like one piece. I say this is very, very good. Consider it's kind of using the DJI software, so it is pretty much expected that Skyrover should be getting similar to DJI performance. It is kind of like DJI but not DJI. That's something that we all know, and for a price of only about 300 bucks, I think there is no competition that you can kind of beat this. There's just no other competition, at least at the moment. So if you're in the market of your first camera drone that you want it to be good, you want it to be able to generate good enough footage, not just for regular flying, this is actually going to be something that you can use for a long while until you really needed to upgrade to something else. Also, something I forgot to mention in the front is that if you need to buy accessories, that is ND filter, yes, the DJI Mini series ND filter is going to be working with this one. So Mini 2 or 4K, the ND filters are going to be compatible directly. So this one that I'm having right now is for newer. So yep, this is something that you can consider because the other Skyrover drones is a little bit more challenging because you are unable to find the correct ND filter size, at least at the moment. All right, so that is basically going to be my 2 cents of the Skyrover S1, and I hope this is actually enough proof to show you how good it is. And if you wanted to buy it, links are going to be down below as usual. So if you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.